Oh putain, suce ma bite et mes couilles, hein, espèce de salope, tu fais chier, bordel de merde. Oh, pardon my French. Forgiving is for giving. There are many ways to apologize, de dire pardon, de s'excuser, depending on the situation, the level of formality, and the sincerity required. So we're in a relationship, and yet I had sex with your sister and your mother. What? I'm sorry. J'ai couché avec ta sœur et ta mère. Oh là là! Désolé. So in English, the classic word is sorry. Comes from the feeling of sorrow. Old Norse and Old German would have the word sar for wound and sore. So I stabbed you in the neck. That looks sore. I'm sorry. Ooh, pardon me. Pardon me. The word pardon comes from the French, who also use the word pardon. Pardon, by way of a don, a donation of sorts. It traces back to perdonare, the Latin, which means to give thoroughly, to forgive completely. Per, thoroughly, completely. Donare, to give, to grant. And Italians and Spanish, they use it too, but for a more deep need of forgiveness. So in Italian, it's perdonare, that's the verb. Ti perdono, I forgive you. In Spanish, perdonar, te perdono, I forgive you. So ti perdono, te perdono. That's why it'll be easier knowing another Romance language if you know at least one, because they're all connected. Incestuous. La vie devient un peu plus facile quand tu connais une des langues romanes, parce que c'est un peu... c'est comme un orgie, quoi. So forgiving is forgiving. The French verb to give is donner, D-O-N-N-E-R, donner. Je te donne mes excuses. I give you my excuses. Excuses, excusez-moi, excuse me, je m'excuse. That comes from the Latin excusare, to free from blame, to justify. So ex, out of, away. The English have plenty of words like that beginning with X. So exit, exile, export, extract, exhale. That's why it's fun breaking things down. I quite like it, breaking things down etymologically, because then you're left with words like you go, okay, exhale. You remove X, and then you know that hail means breath or something. I mean, you knew that anyway because it's exhale, but you can sort of dissect it like hail, Hale, and that looks like the French the word haleine, 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 which is actually the smell of one's breath. Because otherwise, the French will use respirer, and then you can then go back to English, and that respirer is like respiratory. So all these verbs, all these words, they're all linked somehow. It's quite fun. So when you break it down, it's sort of easier to see. Export, you remove it, you're left with port. Of course, that's where goods would be exchanged. So anyway, all that to say that X means away from. So I'm sorry I slept with your sister and your mother. You are now my ex. Get out of the way. Tu es maintenant mon ex. Je m'excuse. Excuse. Cuse from causa. Cause, a reason. Une cause, une raison. The Latin verb excusare literally means to remove oneself from a cause, to free oneself from blame or responsibility. And Italians use it, scusi, scusa, from the verb scusare. So scusi is the formal way of saying excuse me. C'est plus poli de dire scusi. And then scusa, c'est entre amis. It's with friends. Scusa. What else? If I've missed out any information, by the way, please let me know. Write me a little message in the comments section below on YouTube. And if you're listening to the podcast, hello, find me on YouTube. Just that simple, really, as you might find the visual aspects of the learning more interesting. So yes, if I've missed out any important words, my apologies. Apology, from the Greek word apologia. I think that's how you say it, apologia, a speech in defense of, a justification. So the Latins adopted that word and then it sort of, evolved. So in English, we can say my apologies, but the French will only really use it like the Greeks as meaning of a justification. L'apologie de la violence est inacceptable. The apology for justification for violence is unacceptable. But it's rare that the French would use it. Je crois que c'est rare que les Français utilisent le mot apologie. Les Français ont aussi désolé. which is a much more beautiful word. Désolé. Désolé, j'ai fait tomber mon lait crémé dans ton bidet. Which sounds lovely, but all I said was, sorry, I dropped my creamy milk in your bidet. So, désolé. Dé, prefix. It's like X, to remove, and privation, retirer. Dé. And English have that word as well, to mean exactly the same thing as X. Deactivate, deconstruct, dehydrate. So désolé. So what does soleil mean? Soleil is Latin from solari, which means to comfort, hein, réconforter ou apaiser. C'est comme un soulagement, solare, to comfort someone. Soulager, that's a French word for comfort. Donc en essence, avoir du chagrin pour avoir privé quelqu'un de leur soulagement. Feeling sorry to have removed someone's comfort. Désolé. So the most common words, les mots les plus communs, sorry, désolé, scusi, scusa in italiano, e lo siento in Spanish. So lo siento, I feel it. Lo siento, je le sens, je le ressens. Lo, the direct object pronoun meaning it, and siento, from the verb sentir, meaning to feel. Sentir en français is also to feel, but also to smell. Sentir, je sens bon, I smell good, mais je sens quelque chose. I feel something. Je sens quelque chose approcher. I feel something approaching, for example. So it's all context. Lo siento, I feel it. Je suis désolé. Scusi, scusa. I'm sorry. If you're trying to get past someone, for example, or you want to ask a stranger a question, hein, si tu veux demander une question à un étranger ou tu veux passer, tu dirais in English, excuse me. Excusez-moi. Scusami in Italiano. In Spanish, disculpa. Disculpa, me disculpo. Mi culpa, my bad. Mi culpa, culpable, culpable. I am culpable, je suis coupable. From the Latin, dis, okay, so disengage, disassemble, discontinue. Culpa, from the verb culpare, meaning to blame, to find fault. So, final recap in English, sorry, excuse me, pardon me. En français, désolé, excusez-moi, pardon. In Italian, scusi, scusa, scusami y perdonami. Et en espagnol, lo siento, disculpa, perdóname. Not bad, right? A favorite from around the world. Well, I just think pardon my French, huh? The classic pardon my French, which Americans and Brits use when they swear. I'll take that as a compliment, hein? Je sais pas si vous savez, mais les anglophones disent excusez mon français quand ils disent des gros mots, hein? Putain de merde, suce ma bite, espèce d'enculé. Oops, pardon my French. All right, let's take a look at some Russian, Arabic, and Chinese just for a laugh. Izvinite. Izvinite is a polite version, often used with strangers or formal context. And izvini is casual, it's more casual. So that means sorry in Russian. In Arabic, it's asif. It's common. It's a common way of saying sorry. It's like as if, but with two A's. So as if. And then Chinese is dui buchi. Dui buchi. I can't really do it because the E has like that E. Dui buchi, which means I'm sorry. Dui buchi. I think that's correct. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. It's not just languages that I'm exploring, but basically everything and anything that might help me survive the unpredictable tomorrow. So, yeah. See you next time.